Hi! For today's video, I'm going to show you the pivot tables on Excel. So first, if you're new in this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button below for more videos like this. Pivot tables will make you analyze the data more easier without using a lot of formulas and functions. We have here a very simple data: order date, region, representative, item, unit cost, and total. And to see the pivot tables, all you have to do is to go to Insert, and here you can see the pivot tables and the recommended pivot tables. We can try to click recommended pivot tables, and here it will show you an item that you might want to use. But for today's video, we will focus on the pivot tables. So let's try to cross it out first. You can click on Cancel. And here, if you click on the pivot table here, click on that, you can easily arrange and summarize complex data in a pivot table. And here, to create a pivot table, you can choose the data that you want to analyze. Here you can insert the table or range of your data. What you can do is to simply click on your data and to select all of the cells you want to include to your table. Then you can click OK. We now have a new worksheet here, and we are ready to our next step. So you can see here we have pivot table fields. Choose the fields to add to your report. So what you can do is to choose an item from your fields that you want to add to your report, and then you want to analyze the data. You can choose the item you want to compare. So for instance, I will choose this item over here. Click on that. And you will see that it's in the form of rows. And to make them into column, all you have to do is to click here and click to move to columns. Or you can simply drag them from rows to columns. So we now have our names into columns format. Let's try adding some items again. Click here, and you can see it's in a rows format. So we now have the names on the columns and the items on the rows. So let's try adding some items again. Let's try adding values. We can click here. And with this pivot table, you will now analyze the data in a simpler way. You can see the names with their item and values. And you can easily see their grand total. You can simply analyze them by looking at the pivot table. You can see grand total to your right and grand total below. You can also change the values on your table. You can go to your values and then click here and then remove fields. You now have an empty table. And to add values again, you can go to your fields and select an item you want to analyze. Let's try this one. And the values will show up again, and you can analyze them again. Let's try adding some item again. Let's try this one. And here you can see it's added to our rows. You can now see the names on the columns, and then under rows, the items together with the place. You can now read it like, for example, Darren has 28 binder and 155 pencil, and has a total of 183 items. And if you want to rearrange them, all you can do is go to your rows and then drag it to your columns. And here you can see that the place and the names are in columns. You can now read it like Darren in Central has 28 binders and 155 pencils, and has a grand total of 183 items. And yes, with pivot tables, it's easy to analyze and read the data. And with this given table, you can still add more items. You can select on the pivot table fields, and then you can add it into your rows, into your columns and values. But what if you want to change a little bit on the table? Like for instance, a certain or specific item on the table. You can click here on the column labels, and if you want to remove a certain name, like for example, this Holy, you can click on that and click OK. And there you can see that the pivot table changed. The name Holy disappeared. But what if you want that back again? You can go again to column labels and then check the name Holy. And you can see the name Holy appears again on the table. And that's how you can simply add and remove items on the table. One more thing you can do is to sort them from smallest to largest value. What you have to do is to right click and then click on Sort. And here you can sort the data from smallest to largest. And you can change the values from time to time on what item or data you want to analyze, and change the columns into rows and rows into columns. We now have another values here, and if you want to add a $sign on these values, you can click on the cells you want to change, like this, and then click on dollars. And there you have successfully add a $sign on the values. You can also add percentage on your values and make a graph using your data. Pivot tables are easy to use. You can arrange them from smallest to largest value. You can rearrange them, and you can really enjoy using pivot tables. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you out. If you have a question, please don't hesitate to leave a note on the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. You can also hit the bell button below to notify you on the next video.